Hey, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
No, thank you. I'm very excited. And we start off each of these things with what we call the flash interview. The flash interview is 10 rapid fire questions in a row. Keep your answers to about a sentence. We will come back to any of them that seem like they're interesting, but otherwise it helps the audience get a baseline of who you are and a little bit of your history. So if you're ready, we will start that now.
All right, I'll give it a try. You are boxing me in more than anybody ever has, so good for you.
Oh man, after these 10 questions, you won't feel boxed in, I assure you. But I think this helps. So, what part of the country do you live in now?
Austin, Texas.
What is your exact address? No, I'm kidding. What part of the country were you raised in?
Originally Missouri, born Kansas City, high school, St. Louis, and then I ended up in Virginia while I was in the Navy.
Very cool. So were you born into a religious home, and if so, what was the religion that was practiced?
Yes, primarily Southern Baptist. There were some Catholics on one side of the family, but some of them converted to Baptist as well.
Okay. How big of a family do you come from?
I have one brother and a handful of cousins. My parents each have 3 siblings, so there were some good-sized family gatherings.
Okay. In regards to being devout or taking it seriously, how serious does your immediate family take the religion, or did they take the religion?
Very.
Okay.
While I was growing up and now still, there are a couple exceptions. You know, some family members are less religious than others, but certainly my parents are as devout and fundamentalist as they've always been.
Just like mine. Were you the first member of your immediate family to leave the religion?
Yes.
When you left your religion, did you transition through other religions or straight to atheism?
I didn't go through any other organized religions. I went in the short span. It was a long period of study, but in a short span, I rapidly went from, hey, I can't be a Christian, to I'm not quite sure what I am, to, oh, I'm an atheist.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. I'm going to come back to that one. So you can answer the next one in one of 2 ways or both ways if you want. Some people like to not let people do the math on their age. So how old were you, or how long ago was it that you became an atheist?
Oh, wow. It was around, I'm 49, so it was around 30 or so when I actually said I'm an atheist. There was a period of about 1.5 years prior to that where I was in flux.
Okay. Number 9, who is your favorite atheist author, who is your favorite atheist author, communicator, or educator?
Me.
All right, who else?
Now you can't edit that part out so that that's all I say.
Yeah, no, I won't. At least we don't have that in common. No, I'm kidding.
I have a lot, probably far too many to pick.
Sure.
Some of the best influences, you know, David Hume and Voltaire and Colonel Ingersoll and all that. I answer me as kind of a half joke because there are people who I think are better at this in different ways and people I admire, but nobody's going to represent my views better than I do right now. So that's kind of the standard joke, is that I'm my favorite. But in truth, if you were to ask me, who's your favorite person on the atheist experience, it's not me. It's Tracy, which I've said over and over again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You mentioned Hume pretty soon off the bat. He's usually my second. I usually go with Hitchens because I'm unoriginal. So, if you could have dinner, this is the final question, and so you can take a little longer with this if you like, but if you could have dinner with any individual, present or in history, who would it be?
Wow. And I only get to pick one?
Yeah, just the one.
I'd go with Jesus.
My goodness. Yeah, you've said you don't take the mythicist position, and I don't either, but every year I feel like I get a little closer.
Well,
so,
I feel like if he doesn't show up, now I'm a mythicist.
Yeah.
And if he does show up, maybe he can, explain some stuff that might be useful to all the people who are still believers.
I suspect if he did show up, he'd be as confused about the claims made in his name as you are.
And if he can only communicate in, Aramaic or Greek or something like that, and can't speak English, well, that tells me a lot already. Well, if we're not able to communicate, he ain't God.
He did visit the American continent, according to the Mormons, and would know Reformed Egyptian. I don't know if that's one of your languages.
No. That one was made up before I was born, and it's not something that I ever actually studied.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know that anyone ever did study it. But I don't know if you know this about me. I grew up as a Mormon, so the Mormon jokes, they just can't help but come out. So,
I saw the Book of Mormon for the first time a month and a half ago on Broadway at the Original Theater. I had been waiting and waiting and waiting, and I finally went and saw it. And I loved it and became a junkie. I had to download the soundtrack. I've listened to the soundtrack like every day for a couple weeks, and then I worked parts of the soundtrack into my magic show for fun. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I love the Book of Mormon.
That is awesome. Oh, I am going to isolate that clip for fun. Take that out of context. All right. So that is the end of the Flash interview. If you enjoyed that and you'd like to see the rest of it, it will come out this Friday. So please subscribe and hit that bell so you will get the notification for it.